I don't think there's any such thing as an easy path in life, even though a lot of people seem to try to find that easy path and just end up woefully disappointed. I believe there's much better paths, paths that are more worthwhile than other paths. Stick around for the end of this video. Maybe I'll share something with you that'll help you find a path that is much better, that you even like much more than the one that you're on right now. So, at the end of most people's lives, one of the most common emotions that people feel when they're on their deathbed is regret. That they didn't go for that dream, they didn't take that chance, they didn't say what was on their mind to whomever. They just didn't do it. All this fear about this emotional attachment, very unhealthy emotional attachment that people have for the acceptance of other people, perhaps the wrong people. This obsession to preserve an ego from hurting, or to protect a self-image at the expense of playing bigger. So people play small, and we don't want to give other people the right or any justification to say something bad about us. So we play small, and we end up affecting nobody, including ourselves or people around us, at least not in a positive way. And that fills us with a lot of regret at the end stage of our lives. I can't speak from empathy because I'm not at the end of my life. At least I don't think I am, unless some terrible accident happens, but in my perception, I'm a long way from there. This is just a very common emotion that is reported and observed from people like hospice workers and so forth, where that's what people are expressing most people at the end of their life is much regret. So how to avoid that? I believe quit going for the easy path, because it's an illusion. It's like this trap that people fall into, thinking that some way is going to be easy. There is no easy way. There's worthwhile ways, and then there's, which is actually the easy way, or the easier way to go a worthwhile way, because you don't have to be saddled with that horrible feeling of regret. And then there's that illusion of easy, which is going to be the more difficult way, especially emotionally when you get to the end stage of your life. And even along the way there, I think it's needless. So me being, the young man that I am, at any age for that matter, never too old, never ever too old to change path, but I want to avoid having that feeling at the end stage of my life. When I perceive myself to be at about the end, I want to look back and say, I did it my way, took that chance, I went for that dream. Even if I don't accomplish everything that I want to accomplish, at least I know I gave it my best, I did my best, and I was honorable about it, and I was honorable to other people on the planet that I live on. That's important to me, and that's the path I'm carving. So start thinking in terms of that, and start taking those chances, and start, going for those dreams. And let me share with you what I've done, and maybe you might decide what I've done is a path that you want to take to carve out your own reality, which could be different than mine, but a similar mechanism to make it happen. And the mechanism is important. So in 2007, I was full of regret and disgust and anger and sadness and depression, all of those things all wrapped into one. Not a good place I was in 2007. The girl I was dating at the time got into a home business. That's exactly where I'm going with this video. She got into a home business, I said no. Full of self-doubt, I didn't know if it would work, critical, skeptical, all those things. But then I saw she was having a great deal of success with her health, because it was a health product. And then money-wise, she was starting to get paid really nice money. And she was, kind of broke. She had a roommate and still came up short at the end of every month to pay her bills. And she had to sell her personal belongings on eBay. And her mom was sending her $20 bills and envelopes to help. And it was just, a mess. And then she started making all this money. And she's losing weight. And she's coming off her asthma medications. All these wonderful things. 3 months of that, I had enough. I'm like, okay, I got to do this. Got to do it. I have no job. I have no income. A perfect reason not to invest in a new business venture. Well, it turned out to be a perfect reason to invest in a new business venture once I saw that it was working. I don't think I would have signed up for infomercial testimonials, because I never know if they're real, if they're lying or over-exaggerating, but this is somebody that I knew personally, so I'm grateful about that. And so I got in 2.5 years of working it in my spare time, because I had no time. I had no income and no time, which were perfect reasons to get started. And then I got started and I figured out how to do it in a way that didn't interfere with anything else I was currently doing. I just had to learn some new skills. Like everything you know, you had to learn, right? So you've already proven you can learn. I've proven that I can learn some things. I've also proven that I can change course. I can draw a line in the sand and change course and get on a better, more worthwhile path. It wasn't necessarily easier. Now it's easier. But at first it wasn't easier. It was just more worthwhile. It was better, much better than the one I was on. And maybe you're on a path right now where it's like, okay, I need to figure something out and draw my own line in the sand. Because after 2.5 years of doing what I did, when I made that decision in August of 2007, I became financially free. Money was no longer an issue, and time was no longer an issue. And when you own your time, you own your life, and you take control of your life. And that is the most beautiful part about the whole deal. And enlightened people, I don't say this to put anybody down, but enlightened people make the connection between financial freedom and freedom of their time, and then the freedom of the time to being able to put their heart, their body, their mind, their spirit, their soul in the moment when they need to be, whenever they need to be, without having to check with a gatekeeper first for permission from a boss or check in with a banker or to live underneath the thumb of anybody that can tell them what to do ever again. I'm out from underneath that thumb of anybody that can tell me what to do. It wasn't easy to do it, but it was worth it. And it's better than living underneath the thumb of somebody who can tell me what the flip to do and when to do it. If I have a really cool boss that lets me be myself, well then I can congratulate myself for being able to be myself at the leisure and the permission of somebody else. I know some of you have a really cool boss and it fills your heart with contentment, which is a poison, in my opinion. But if you do have a really cool boss, first of all, kudos to your boss, because everybody should be an awesome human being no matter what the position and this and that. But you're still only able to be yourself, and you still have the flexibility at the permission and leisure of somebody else. And there's no freedom. That's in some ways that's a worse form of oppression because you're not likely to do anything about it and unleash the power of your human spirit. So, and that's just my personal opinion. I don't say any of that to put anybody down. But 2.5 years, 90 days, I totally changed my health. I mean, my health was also going to hell in a handbasket. So thank goodness the product that was being moved to set me free financially, so I could have my freedom of my time, is a product that helped me turn my health around. So 90 days, totally changed my health. In 2.5 years, everything else changed, and now I'm a free human being. And that was in February of 2010. So that was a long time ago. And now all I want to do is grow healthy, rich people. So at the end of this video, that's how I'm going to cap off this video. If you're interested in looking at information that I have about my training, I reverse engineered how I did it. My first 1.5, 2 years was a complete mess, but at some point I figured it out. I got the right mentors, and then I kind of blew it up at that point. It was really cool. 2010, I increased my personal income by over 700%. Nobody does that in anywhere except something like this that I know of. Try getting a 700% raise at your job, or even a 7% raise, and even still, if you get that raise, you have to keep showing up or you stop getting paid. Where this, you work at a certain amount of time, it turns passive, and that means when it's passive, you can take time off, you can do something else, and you're still covered financially. The money still keeps rolling in. You'll never get that at a job, because at a job you stop, it stops coming in, you end up homeless. Not cool. This, it sets you free. It really is freedom. So if you have any interest in learning about the training that I put together to help grow healthy, rich people, let me know. I'll share the information with you, and if it looks good, we can do it. If it doesn't look good, you don't have to do it, and that is perfectly cool too. Just, find something else that is your cup of tea, so to speak. So I will be hearing from quite a few of you soon. I look forward to it, sharing information and working with those of you that want to work with me. And one thing you'll get from me, well, you'll get a lot of things from me, but there's a lot of other, it's kind of cold out here. It's getting cold, actually, heat wave right now. But one thing you'll get from me, among other things, is you won't get a bunch of hype about how easy this is, because it's not easy. It's hard, but what you're doing is hard. And in my opinion, this gets a lot easier over time, and is far worth it because it sets you free. Think about it, the 40-year job plan, work 40 years to retire poorer than you were when you were working, and you can never get away from it. Versus work a few years, I did 2.5, so work a couple years, hard work, couple years in your spare time, so it doesn't interfere with anything, but a couple years, and retire richer than you were when you were working, and now you're free. 40 years, retire poorer, a couple years, retire richer. Yeah, that's a big contrast. They're both hard, but the latter is worth it. And the latter actually becomes easier than the one that seems easy, because you're guaranteed a paycheck no matter what. At a job, you're guaranteed a paycheck no matter what. So in that sense, it seems easy, but then you could be full of regret at the end stage of your life because you lived your whole life underneath the thumb of other people that could tell you what to do. And you could only do anything at the leisure and the permission of somebody else. So why not avoid that altogether, draw a line in the sand, make a different decision, change paths, and if that turns you on, let me know. Just reach out to me. Time to walk the other direction. Wow, I walked a long way. Just reach out to me, private message, and I will send you information. And just know ahead of time, if you decide it's not for you, I'm not going to make you feel weird, you know, like other people would, because because it's uncool, and I just don't do that. My whole thing is inviting people not to do this. I'm not inviting you to do this. I'm inviting you to look at information to see if you'd even want to do this. And if you decide you don't want to, it's cool. And if you decide you want to, I think you might like it, especially if you're still watching this video 10 minutes in, 11 minutes in, and you still want the information. I think you might like it. You may or may not, but I think that you probably like it. And if you end up not liking it, it's totally cool. Find something that you do like. So I'll hear from you very soon. Looking forward to it. I'm especially looking forward to locking arms with some new people to grow more healthy, rich people that just want to be free to put their mind, their body, and their spirit where they want it to be without having to request permission or to do it at the leisure of somebody else. And to get out from living underneath the thumb of other people. I love working with people that have that kind of a mindset. So I'm looking forward to it, you freedom-loving people. I'll see you soon. Bye for now. Last but not least, my website, fireyourboss.xyz. That's me, not .com. .com is different. Fireyourboss.xyz.